now your rhythm arrangement and you doing jingles. And there are many popular jingles, maybe people don't know it because वो credits का issue तो अपने इधर है ही. But I think we come अभी हम लोग वो दौर 99 तक लेके आए हैं. So
No, we've actually now come till 2004 or 5 with that computer and everything.
So 2004-5 है तो 2002 में आपका एक jingle था with Adnan Sami, I guess for India.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For the World Cup. Yeah. I think it was for the.
breath use किया.
I think it was for the 2003 World Cup, if I'm not mistaken. And Adnan Bhai was the composer. Salim Merchant was doing the programming, and I was doing the live rhythms. Yes, I remember that. Oh, that was a while back. Yes, voice percussion is something which I have, like I said, I've always evolved, as a musician. So I always wanted to. I was always inspired by R.D. Burman,
Yes.
So throughout my career, I was always experimenting with voice in the bathroom. I would do breath. I would do some other sounds also. And, that kind of thing. And not realize that I've been in the bathroom for an hour now. So when I started doing these things, I still remember that jingle, and I said, well, why don't we start with some voice percussion? And Adnan Bhai also was very happy about it. And, the respect we shared with each other has been there for a while, and it's still there. So I started, I did some voice percussions in the beginning, and I think the jingle starts with that. I was doing some voice, hey, ooh, hey, something like that, and some breath thing also. And then, of course, I played live percussions in that, like bongo and the djembe and some pickups on timbali and all that. I did all that. I remember that jingle was very popular at that time when it came.
Rahul Dravid and Lakshman were starring in that.
Yes. Rahul Dravid and Lakshman were there. Correct, you're right. I remember that. And it was something like, something like that, yeah. And it was I think Adnan Bhai was even shot in that. He was there in the video. Singing and doing all that. Yeah, he was in that video also. So yeah, I mean, I used my voice percussion because I felt that, jingles were kafi aa chuke the by then. And this was a new thing to use voice percussion in this way in a jingle. And so thankful to Adnan Bhai that he gave me that opportunity, that I could do this voice percussion. And
उसके बाद तो फिर वो voice percussion का आपने अभी 3 जिंगल एक साथ लेते हैं.
हाँ.
एक बजाज डिस्कवर का था.
Oh yeah, that Piyush Pandey one. I think it was.
That was Nirvana film.
Prakash Verma. But I think Piyush Pandey was involved.
Piyush Pandey का एक ये था, उनका Indian Railways का था.
हाँ, Indian Railways.
जिसमें कांस पे था और एक खेतान का था.
Correct. Prakash Verma, Nirvana films. I remember that. Discover, Bajaj Discover. It was something to do with Africa. Yes. I remember, and I did that. I did the voice. In that also, I used a lot of this voice to kind of generate the concept of Afro voices, and I've used djembe and all that. It was for that Bajaj Discover. Yes. And Prakash Verma, fantastic filmmaker, amazing filmmaker. In fact, with him only we did the Indian Railways.
Yes.
Which got the Cannes gold. Right? At the Cannes, it got the gold. And the music was a very important aspect in that. I'm thankful to Prakash. I mean, we all call him Verma. I'm very thankful to Verma that he gave me that opportunity to be part of that that iconic Indian Railways jingle which won the gold at the Cannes. So there also I used voice percussion. So for me, voice percussion, my whole body is an instrument. In live concerts, I would use my cheek, all these things to do rhythm. Then my breath is a rhythm. I do other voice elements also because I feel that, I want things to sound different. I've done a lot of jingles before this 2002, working with Vanraj and with Dhirubhai, and that whole jingle culture was different. The kind of sounds which were used and the way a jingle was approached. When I approach something, I approach it with the idea that how can I make this sound good in collaboration with the composer. If I'm the composer, then it's just my thing. But if I'm working under someone, then what that person wants, I want to understand that. But I want to tell the person that, look, we can do this also. There is a way we can do this. And thankfully, I've always met people who have been open to my ideas, and I'm thankful to all of them. So voice percussion is something which became a norm. I mean, which kind of, many ad guys started understanding that, oh, this is a unique thing, this is something new. That's why I could do it in that jingle with World Cup jingle, in the Discover Bajaj, in the Indian Railways, and Nike, as you know, and then Khaitan Fans. The Khaitan Fans is a film by...
Small question. How did you prepare yourself before doing the Khaitan? Because I was there as an
You were
assistant.
there. You were there in the Bajaj Discover also with me. I think you came with me to the studio.
I have seen you in the studio. So whenever I used to reach studio, I used to just look at the film and I used to wait for you कि आप आके इस पे अभी क्या जादू करने वाले हैं. And that was something different. Like myself, even John was there. We were all in awe. Like वो होने के बाद.
Yeah, because you see, Khaitan jingle was based on Ridhun. On Nothing But Voice, which was done by Shankar and me. So Senthil, when he came to me, he said, I would like to, this is my brief. Because when he made the film, a scratch film, that music which he put was from Ridhun.
Right.
So I said, yeah, we'll do this, but let's not do this. This is done, no? This is already done. We'll do something like this. I'll give you all these sounds, but we'll make it sound different. So in fact, that Shehnai sound was done by Shankar. But in this, I did it because I couldn't call Shankar just for that. So I said, I will only do it. So I did that Shehnai ka sound in my voice. Or whether it was a sample of his, I can't remember now. But
only did it.
I only did it, yeah. And I did all those voice percussions because when I saw the film, and I said, this film is about a kid.
Yes.
The kid is running with a
Kite.
On a stick, and the wind is blowing it, and it's very beautifully shot by Senthil. Oh, what a concept. That kid is running with that thing, and then suddenly you see kites flying in the sky, and then you're wondering what is happening. And then you come down to the parapet of this fort, which is full of these fans. And those fans are giving the breeze for that kite to fly. What a thought. Amazing. Senthil is a fantastic filmmaker. So when I saw the film, I said, okay, and I designed it. The kid running, kuch aa raha hai, and then something joining, and then, and created that Ridhun magic, but gave it a different touch by bringing another melody.
Yeah, nobody will call it as a Ridhun track.
Something different. It was completely different because I brought in a different melody. I think the singer was that Raman.
No,
Vijay Prakash. Was it because it was a Raman? Acha. Yeah. So he did that and then he sang and it completely sounds, it has a touch of Ridhun, but it is not Ridhun also. So again, voice percussion, no? Because that's what I'm saying. Voice percussion became a very important thing and people started realizing it, and people who would listen to these jingles started enjoying it because no rhythm is happening. Tabla, dholak, drum, ye nahi hai, kuch nahi hai. But rhythm is there.
One's attention in 20 seconds or 30 seconds.
Yeah, but rhythm is there, no? And yes, of course, I even created that whole breeze in this jingle. Yeah. Oh yeah, and John was there with me. He's a fantastic sound engineer. Been working with me for years. Ridhun is all recorded, but mostly by him and even mixed by John. And I still work with John, and it's an amazing relationship. It's like we fight also, but we come back and we again become friends. So it's there. I mean, yeah.
In the last question, Tolga, you mentioned a term called drum accompaniment. So ये जो सोच है, वो आप कैसे देखते हैं और आपका नजरिया क्या है, और ये कैसे आगे बढ़नी चाहिए आपकी सोच?
See, I started playing the standing kit. That kit is kind of inspired and designed on the ideas of the great master percussionist Trilok Gurtu. But I'm standing and playing. So my whole concept was I would have a kick here and kick, hi-hat, snare, tom, ride and one crash. It was a very small thing because for me it is very important that in less I play more.
Right.
You know, the matter should be more, maybe the surface is just this much. So what I started doing was, when I heard Trilok Bhai, when I heard him, in those days, of course, we didn't have so much of YouTube and all that,
right.
but CDs and all that, and small videos here and there. So I heard him with John McLaughlin, with, so much with John McLaughlin and with other great musicians, Joe Zawinul and so many others. Ian Garbarek, El Shankar. So heard him with them. So his whole style of playing was very jazz oriented, because that's the norm there, no? That's the music which is happening over there. So even when they were doing fusion, his ideas would be jazz, but he would bring in an Indian element also in that. So which I used to like, because suddenly you would hear a Korwai or maybe like a Qaeda on that setup, or a Rela being played.
Okay.
But he would keep his accompaniment very jazz oriented.
Okay.
So when I started playing drums, when I started playing with Indian musicians, what I realized was they come from a background of classical music, right? Of course, they are all very well versed with other forms of music also. Jazz music, or you can say Latin music and other forms of music also. But their approach towards playing, because they come from a classical background, is that. So I realized that with them, the style of drumming should be based on an Indian discipline.
Right.
Because that's how they like it. That's how their music is, you know. In those days, when I started playing early 2000 and all that, so when I was playing with Niladri, with Rakesh, with Rahul, that was the whole thing. Purbayan, yeah, they are influenced obviously by world music, but their playing is there. But they are doing a lot of things, getting into harmonies and all that. But that whole thing which gels with them is when you do. So what is the whole concept of classical music? The accompanist is keeping a groove, and when the accompanist gets a chance to play, he would play something and come back to the groove. So keeping a straight groove when they are playing was better. And in between, of course, there is a place where we would like really get what shall I say? No, we would really come together.
Right.
Like we would really jam. When, like if you've seen Niladri playing, there is a time when there is a straight groove going on, and then when he's actually going up, that's when you come with him, and you connect with him, and you come together, and you land on the sum together, which I feel is an Indian concept in a way, in a big way. When the jazz concept is concerned, the drummer is continuously with the melody guy, and the melody and the harmony is also changing and going on, and they would take it to a crescendo, and then which is in a way what I would say is a Dhrupad Dhamar concept, where the Pakhawaj player would from the very beginning would go with the singer or the instrumentalist, and he would play. I think that's where they are similar. Whereas the Khayal style of singing and playing is different, where the teka or the groove has to be straight.
Right.
And you can take your small pickups and all that, yes, but you give the space to the instrumentalist, make the person comfortable. So my playing with Niladri would be different, my playing with Rakesh would be different, my accompaniment with Rahul would be different. Now I realized, so earlier I used to play with drumsticks. Right? I soon realized that, what is happening is that because their instruments are soft instruments, in those days Niladri used to play acoustics sitar. Rahul also acoustic, and Rakesh is also on acoustic, no. So I realized that, you know, my sound would overpower them.
Right.
Because I'm playing with sticks.
Right.
And many times I would not be able to hear them, even if I have them in the monitor. So I switched to hot rods.
Okay.
Now that's where hot rods come into play. So I guess what I started as a kid became useful for me, because I started realizing, oh, these are nice. So good hot rods, you know, I can. So I would play with hot rods. So then I realized that accompanying them with hot rods became easier, and for them also it became nice, because suddenly the tak, and they would be like, "Arey, drum bahut loud hai." No, they're all good friends. So, and I understand where they come from, because yes, with the stick the drums can get loud. So I started playing with hot rods, you know, and I realized that my whole dynamics of playing changed. Me as an accompanist, I think I became better with the hot rods. I would not overpower them, and the hot rods would give me. And what I started doing was, because when I used to earlier play with hot rods, after one concert they would break, because they are all soft sticks, no, they are not very heavy sticks. So I started putting bandage over them, so that they would last me longer, at least 2-3 concerts. And I realized with that bandage, I could even go loud at times, you know, where I wanted to. So I started doing that. So I feel that when you're playing with a sitar player or sarod player or sarod, santoor or flute, or a vocalist also for that matter, you have to realize that they have come from a background which is classical music. So I think now maybe the whole mindset is changed also, because of so much of exposure to music. But I guess predominantly if you give them a straight accompaniment without disturbing them, then it's comfortable.
Right.
And then obviously in between you can play or pick up, and when you get your chance to play, you play, and you know, and then you come back to the groove. And like Zakir Bhai always says, you know, the accompanist, whatever you're playing, whether you're playing a drum, tabla, djembe, pakhawaj, dholak, let's say dolki, those instruments are predominantly accompanying instruments. Yes, they are solo instruments also, but they are used as accompanying to the kind of genre of music that they belong to. So what is the role of an accompanist? The role of an accompanist is to make the instrumentalist or the singer comfortable.
Right.
Okay, yeah, that comfortably the singer or the instrumentalist can, you know, kind of bring out his or her music. And then when you get your chance to play, you play, and then you come back. So that's what I try to do, and that's what I try to teach my students also, that, you know, when you're playing drums, yes, if it's a drummer, like Khwab, Shikhar, Keyur, then of course they are following a jazz drumming style, because like Shikhar is influenced a lot by Ranjit Bhai, Khwab is influenced a lot by Gino, Keyur also, Ranjit Bhai and Gino. So I'm saying, yes, that style of playing is very jazz, but somewhere I feel that whole concept of accompaniment, when you're playing with these musicians, this is my look, that it should be a little laid back, a little subdued. And then, you know, of course, nowadays those heads have come, the main head, and then you play with that. And yes, of course, all that is there. But when the solos is going on, you just kind of do that little laid back, little subdued. And then when you get your chance, you can. So I think all these guys are now doing that. I mean, I know when I see them playing with Shikhar hai, ya Khwab hai, ya Keyur hai. Even I guess when I'm seeing somebody like Gino playing, I mean, he also is doing the same thing. He's also, in a way, realized that this is how it should be. I mean, when he's playing with jazz, his whole style of playing is very different. Yeah. When he's playing with Luigi or with somebody else. And whenever I've heard him with Rakesh or Purbayan or with Ravi Chechari, Niladri, it's a very different style. So that's how it should be. I mean, that's the whole concept of accompaniment, which I feel should be there. And I have tried to accompany all these musicians in that way. I mean, when I'm playing with, let's say if I'm playing with Luigi, it's a completely different playing, you know. I mean, I'm not the jazz drummer. I know about jazz drumming, but in my style of playing, see again, I don't want to do something which is already being done. You know?
Right.
My style of should be different. Whether it's a very simple style or whatever, it should be something which is with me, which nobody else is doing. It's me. I'm doing that. Whether it's a very simple format or a complicated format or अच्छा नहीं है, बुरा है, वो मेरा है. So my style of playing is like that. I mean, but when I'm playing with a person like Luigi, I know that, you know, if you go to YouTube, you see some of my videos with Luigi. It's a very completely different style of playing, you know. If I'm playing with Niladri, it's a very different style of playing. If I'm playing with Rakesh, a different style of playing. So I try to be different with all of them so that their music can come up. I should not disturb their music. And that is what I've learned from my father and from Zakir Bhai.
Tawfiq bhai, as you mentioned about your students, so now there are many people whom I know or many people who must be willing to learn under you. So आजकल ये सोशल मीडिया के इस पे सब लोग फेसबुक पे मैसेज डालो, इंस्टाग्राम पे मैसेज डालो. हाउ डू दे अप्रोच यू इन अ लेजिटिमेट मैनर? आप क्या कहेंगे उसका?
नहीं, now it's all become online, no, because of COVID, right. Number one. Now all these musicians, you're talking about Khwab and Dipesh and Omkar, so many others, Gautam. So yeah, even Gautam as a drummer is so good. He's very good. His way of playing, his way of accompanying in fusion music is very different from Keyur and from Shikhar's and from Khwab's style of playing. But again, the one thing which I've told him also, that, you know, you need to understand that where your musician is coming from. Whichever musician you're collaborating with, you basically should know where that musician is coming from, what that musician wants, and give that musician कि ये है, उसका ये है, उसका temperament ऐसा है. This is how the accompaniment, the playing should be. Like for example, if you talk about Omkar and Dipesh and all these, even Shikhar, when they're working in studios, I've told them that you have worked under me, correct? You've learned from me. You've seen me work in studios. But your approach should not be that Tawfiq Bhai would do this. Yes, you can keep that as a benchmark, but try to do something of your own. You know, something should be our own also, na? Otherwise, why would they call you? They'll call me only, no? But I'm happy that, you know, all these people are finding their own ways, whether it's Shikhar, Dipesh, Omkar, Keyur, Gautam, Arun, and so many others, Samir, Khwab. They're all finding their own ways, which is a very important thing. You have to find your own way. You have to give what are you bringing to the table. You shouldn't bring somebody else's thing, no, to the table. मैं जाफर भाई से लेके आया, अरे बहुत अच्छा है, बट तुमने क्या बनाया आज? जाफर भाई का बिरयानी तो अच्छा ही रहेगा, तुमने बिरयानी को क्या किया है? या तुमने बिरयानी नहीं बनाया, पुलाव बनाया है क्या? अरे पुलाव नहीं, राइस तो बनाया है कि नहीं? So it should be from you, and that's where these musicians are doing good. They are bringing something of their own to the table, and that's why many musicians are liking to work with them. Now, coming up to the learning point, now it's all COVID, so it's all become online. Now I'm teaching through TFR, the foundation room. Now, it's been a while since I've had anybody come to the music room to learn from me because of the COVID situation, and I don't know when it will improve. But the most important thing is that when you want to learn, what is the most important thing between a guru and shishya? The guru is not important. It's the shishya which is important. Why? Because the shishya should want to learn.
Right.
If the shishya doesn't want to learn, then what will the guru do? Nothing. You can take the horse to the water, but you cannot make it drink it. So the the student has to have the enthusiasm and that whole, what do you call it, that zid to learn. That's why my father, Abbaji, always used to say, all your life, never consider yourself a master. Always remain a student. Because then only you will evolve. Then only you will want to learn. You will take more. If you say I'm a master, then many would say no, then it is, many great people have said, if you consider yourself a master, it is time to hang your boots. So that should not be the case with musicians. You should always be a student. So for the student to be a student, that is a very important thing, that student should have the need to learn. I know some people have come to me, suddenly out of the blue, we'd like to learn from you. Okay, very good. Then gone. Nothing. Then suddenly again, sir, I wanted to learn from you. Yeah, I know, but where did you go? Oh, I got busy with this, that. Okay. And then again gone. Then again, sir, but you wanted to learn. See, this is what I'm saying. Even I have taken like one or two classes with somebody. And then suddenly there is no contact with that person. Suddenly it's gone. So I'm wondering, did I do the right thing? I mean, maybe I didn't do something right. That's why that person came and learned from me and then now is gone. Maybe I wasn't a good teacher. But then I keep feeling that whether I'm a good teacher or the bad teacher, wherever that student is, whomsoever that student should learn from, that student should have the need to learn. That, okay, I want to learn, I want to evolve, I want to get more knowledge, So that thing has to be there. Even just now, recently I was working on something and I sent that thing to Zakir Bhai very recently, just the other day. And I said, can I have something in this? I would like you to give me something in this time signature. And he sent me on WhatsApp, he sent me a start of a Peshkar and a Qaida. So even now, I want to learn from him, no? So I am connecting with him, although he's my brother, but I should have the need to learn. Even now when I meet Vikuji, I want to learn from him. So I will tell Vikuji, can you give me something? Even till recently, I would go, whenever he would come here, I would go to his hotel and spend time in the room with him. And he would give me something. So because I have a need to learn, I feel that the most important thing is this. You must have the need to learn. You must have that zid to learn. No, I want to learn. Whatever my schedule is, whether I'm working, whether I'm doing this, whether I'm doing that, my learning should not stop. My learning should always be on, because if I keep on learning, I will evolve as a musician, And I have seen over the years, learning from Abbaji, even learning from my seniors, of course, Zakir Bhai, Trilok Bhai, Vikuji. These are some of my teachers only, in a way. So, if I don't have this thing in me to learn, then how will I evolve as a musician? So that student-teacher relationship is more important because of the student, is what I feel.
But after this, I just want to tell you one thing. Being your student, you are one of the best teachers we have ever met. We all students come on the same page when we say this. And thank you, Tawfiq Bhai, so much for accepting our request for this show today.
My pleasure, and thank you for having me on the A-Field. God bless you. Thank you for having me on the A-Field chat show. And all the best. And I guess more and more bigger artists, bigger than me, come on this chat show with you. And with this whole COVID situation, I would always say one more thing, that A-Field should do big shows. And some of those shows should have me also.
Thank you so much.